Greetings. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. We're going to talk a little bit about what transportation is going to look like and parking on campus this fall. And so it's my pleasure to welcome you as a viewer. My name is Kim Sterrett, Director of Parent and Family Programs. And my guest today, I'm so delighted to have Amy Haynes here from Parking and Transportation on campus. Thank you for joining me in this conversation. I look forward to learning all I can, as do our viewers, about what parking and transportation will look like this fall. So if you're ready to get started, let's do it.
All right, sounds good. Well,
Awesome,
thank
thank
you,
you.
Kim. I appreciate the introduction. So we do have a few changes here on campus and
Yeah,
for parking and transportation. I think the biggest change we will have is going to be with our bus system. We are, updating the routes right now, modifying those, mainly because due to the social distancing that we need to maintain here on campus. The biggest change you're going to see is it's going to be a 15-person maximum per bus.
okay.
Students and if you ride in the bus, you will have to wear a mask to enter onto the bus, but it will only be 15 people allowed. We are going to be having the routes throughout campus, on campus, mainly a lot more buses in our more dense areas, some of the residentials, bringing them into the core of campus and different things like that. Um, that's probably our biggest change. Now, like I said, they are working on the routes right now. They're updating our website with that. Students and parents, anyone that wants to look at it, can view our buses in real time where they're located by going on and logging in and downloading that Passio Go app. And
Okay.
that's just on their phone. They'll be able to look at it, see what route they need, and there they are. There's where the bus is. That's all real time. So, and buses won't start operating again into our operations normally as they have been until August the 17th.
Okay,
So
great.
that's the first day the buses will start running here on campus. And, I think any students coming onto campus just need to remember that maximum number of students that can be allowed on a bus. So don't wait until 15 minutes before the start of your class to get to campus.
Yeah.
Build in a little extra time there. Be prepared, be a little flexible, be prepared to either have to walk or ride a bicycle, something like that, if those buses aren't coming in the time frame that you're needing them, if we haven't built in that time frame.
Sure.
Buses will operate Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m.
Okay.
After 3 a.m., from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next day, we have our 348 ride operation. So it's only going to be on campus. So
Okay.
students will never be abandoned here on campus somewhere. So if they're studying at the library and they need to get to their vehicle on campus, they would just call our 348 ride number during those hours of 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next day. So
Okay.
there's always some type of transportation happening on campus.
So for our returning families, they might have been accustomed to shorter bus hours. I think usually the bus routes ended a little bit earlier. This year, they're going to be extended longer until 3 a.m. And then that 348 ride will bridge the gap between 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. But again, for those returning families, traditionally the 348 ride has gone off of campus up to a mile radius off of campus. And this year, because of lessened capacities and those types of things, they will only be staying on campus. So if a student is coming in from off campus to study until late hours or for a group project or anything like that, they'll want to make sure that they have a car or some way to take 348 ride to their car on campus and then get back to their off-campus location, or be prepared to contact some sort of ride share. We have both, I think, Lyft and Uber in town, and several different golf cart kind
Yeah.
of escort companies that go throughout Tuscaloosa. So just having a plan in place is what
Yeah.
I'm hearing is going to be more key this year than potentially in years past.
Right. It's just the staying on campus, taking care of the students actually here on campus. We've got to make sure that we can get them back to their areas that they need to be here on campus.
Yeah.
And just due to the social distancing and the era we're living in right now, that's
Right.
the route we've got to go.
Well, and not to say that it's not serving off-campus students just as much. It's just that you're focusing on getting folks around campus as opposed to
Yeah,
around the general Tuscaloosa area. That makes a lot of sense. Can you talk a little bit about the bus cleaning process, if you're making any changes to that frequency at all?
we are definitely sanitizing in between, not in between every pickup, but we are, when it's time for, we've got a schedule. And once it's time for that bus to go through and actually be, sanitized and everything, it will be pulled off the route and a new bus will go into, a floater bus will go into that route spot. And it takes about 15 minutes, 30 minutes to actually do the sanitation like we're supposed to. And then once that's done, we will put it back in and then a new bus will come through. So we are working on that, making sure that we try to keep everyone as safe as we possibly can.
Great, great, great. And I believe you, when we were chatting earlier, mentioned that there will be about 20 buses in the on-campus routes. But you, as you mentioned, those routes are changing a little bit. So again, for returning families, you'll want to make sure that your student really reviews those routes, because if they get on a route thinking they're going one place, but that route has changed, they are going to want to make sure that they keep that in mind. So I like, you're giving good tips. We'll recap the tips at the end, but I want to make sure that I'm picking up on all those little details. And then generally, I know that your office doesn't oversee the apartment shuttles that are headed to off campus, but are you aware of any changes to the apartment shuttle process?
We are still going to be servicing the apartment shuttles. So that does flow through our office. So they will be actually serviced Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. The apartment shuttles will be running out there. As far as what maximum capacities and stuff will be on those, I would highly recommend checking with the apartment complex. And, once we know for sure, we will indicate that information on our website and make sure everyone knows that what the capacity issues for the apartment shuttles are also.
Yeah. And I failed to start this process, our conversation with, we recognize that things are changing every single day,
Yes.
that we are getting new information and that you all are needing to be flexible and adjusting to new information. And so I just want to recognize that we know that today this is the information that we have available to us, and that in the event that there need to be some additional changes in the future, not only in preparation for the fall, in the best interest of student safety, but also throughout the year, that you all will make adjustments, and that all of that information will be available through your website, and that we will absolutely send out any information that needs to get out to families or to students by way of families to help spread that word about any type of changes.
We're
Thank you for
constantly
answering
evolving.
that question.
Everything is constantly evolving. So we are trying to make sure we are doing whatever's the best for our students' safety and everything here on campus.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can you talk about any parking changes that might be coming our way?
Yes. Everybody's favorite subject is parking on campus. The biggest, I guess, thing that excitement that I'm very happy with, and a lot of our out-of-state students and parents are probably familiar with Park Mobile. We have teamed up with them this year to where we are going to be able to offer more pay-as-you-go areas here on campus. So if a student doesn't have a permit, or a family member comes to visit, or someone, and they can use the Park Mobile app. It's another app that you can download on your phone. It's contactless, so you don't have to go up to a kiosk or anything and touch.
Nice.
You do it all on your phone. You type in the zone you're in. There'll be signs in that area, and those spots on campus that some of our students are probably familiar with, that used to be 30 minutes free parking, those are now actually going to be Park Mobile parking areas, but you get for an hour 50 cents. It's only 50 cents for an hour of parking. So
Okay.
most of the time you're running in and out. They're running into Starbucks, running into the bookstore, anything like that. Even in our pay station areas where we have kiosks, Park Mobile is going to be able to be used in those also. They will communicate with each other. So we've seen at sometimes there be some lines. There may be a line or so at the kiosk waiting to enter in your information. You can do it all now, the comfort of your car, sitting in your car in the parking spot, putting in your information.
That's great.
So that's Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's 50 cents for the first hour, and then it's $2 each additional hour after that. But that first hour is just 50 cents. And then on the weekends, it's 50 cents an hour for any time. So
Great, 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 great. So yeah, again, new students are likely going to learn that it will be new to them no matter what it was going to be. But for returning students, they'll want to make that adjustment along the way. And then I know that you all also coordinate the Gacha Bikes rental program. Can you talk a little bit about, is Gacha coming back? I know last year was the first year for that. Will they be back, and how can students, particularly if capacities on buses are lessened and they might not want to walk everywhere, they might want to rent one of those Gacha Bikes to get around campus? What does that look like?
super simple. Yes, we are planning to have Gotcha back here on campus. We actually have a meeting with them this week to kind of finalize when those dates are of the bikes coming back on campus. We received lots of great reviews from our students using bikes last year. They are e-bikes, so they're electric pedal assist. Students really like that because it's a lot quicker than just the regular.
Sure.
You don't spend as much using those, but you can. There's a few different things they have. You can download the app again. Everybody likes apps, so you download the Gotcha app and you would scan the little barcode, and it's $2 to unlock the bicycle, and then it was 10 cents a minute to rent it or use it. And I know 10 cents sounds like a minute, but you can get across campus within 5 minutes riding those at top. It doesn't take much time to get across campus riding an e-bike. Or they have what they call a Mo Pass, which is a monthly subscription. It's $6.99 for the month, and you get.
I'm sorry, say that again because I think you cut out.
Oh, sorry. It's $6.99 a month,
Okay.
and you get 1 hour of riding time per day.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yes, exactly. So you could ride for 10 minutes one time, and then you still have 50 more minutes to ride for that day. And after that hour, it's just 10 cents per minute.
Okay.
But you get an hour of unlimited riding for that day. So
That's great.
we're really excited. We're hoping to actually have more bicycles come on campus for this year. That's our plan. We're supposed to have 300 here on campus, and that's what we're hoping to have come the first day of classes.
Okay.
So that's our plan so far.
Great, 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 great. And then I know in the past you have also promoted there. We have a separate bike rental. Now this is full push. This is not pedal assisted at all, but I believe the rec center also does bike rental per semester if they are interested in doing that as opposed to
Yes,
purchasing a bike.
the Student Rec Center has a certain amount of bikes that they will rent out to the students per semester, per academic year, I believe.
Mhm.
And yes, that program is still going to be going strong. So if you don't have a bicycle and don't want to go out and buy one, which, most times students don't really ride it here on campus. But if they want one and they're going to ride it just for a few times, try the Gotcha Bike, try the rental of the one at the rec center.
Yeah.
And then you notice that, okay, they're riding the bicycle a lot on campus, then it may be time to go out and purchase one.
Sure.
So give it a try with the Gotcha Bikes or the rental bike and just see how often they really are riding the bicycles.
Yeah, every spring my heart breaks for all of the abandoned, left behind bikes that were purchased in the fall with such good intentions, and then they are never moved. So rental by use through Gotcha or through the rec center, so that you are not then abandoning a bike, seems like a much less sad option, really, instead of abandoning the bikes at the end. So let me kind of recap all of the tips that I picked up from you. And the first is reviewing bus routes, because those will change. If they're living off campus, make sure that they are aware of any type of shuttle capacities for their apartment complexes, for those 11 apartment complexes that have shuttles, to be aware of all of the apps, the Passio Go, which is PASSIOGO,
Yes.
Passio Go, which you can find on your website as well, in order to track buses to make sure that you know if you don't make that first bus, do, you know, how much longer is it going to be for the next bus on the route, or do you need to go ahead and just start walking or renting that Gacha bike that might be there to definitely build in more time for students to get from place to place, especially if they're coming in from off campus, making sure that they have plenty of time to take into consideration any type of walk or wait for a second bus or anything like that. For sure, be ready for walking in the event. Have a good pair of shoes. Have some rain gear in the event that it's super wet and raining. Maybe consider some of those bike options that you've mentioned, which may not have been something that they thought about beforehand, but maybe something that particularly this year. I always recommend bringing wipes, having a canister of wipes in their backpack to, you know, make sure that if they have to hold on to a hand railing on the bus, and because you don't know if that bus railing was just cleaned and sanitized or if it's just about to be cleaned and sanitized, because while you're doing that more frequently, at some point it is going to almost need to be sanitized. So having a thing of wipes for that, for wiping down bike handles, anything like that would be also welcome. And then just in general, be flexible and stay informed, because things are, you all are doing a great job of modifying your operations to make sure that students and faculty and staff are safe on campus. We appreciate that thoughtfulness and that intentionality. And so we just want to make sure that we get that information out to students and families as it comes.
Sounds good. Yes. Well,
Awesome.
we're looking forward to seeing everybody back on campus and just having a great year. So I'm ready for some students to be here.
Yeah, it's been lonely, right?
Yes, very lonely. I have been on campus in my office, and it's just not the same to look out the window, not see students walking around and things.
That's
So
right.
we are all ready for them.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you, Amy, so much for your time and your great information. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the work that you all do, and we hope you have a great day. Have a
Thank you
great
so
day,
much.
everybody. Roll Tide.
Full Tide.